Most gardeners make the same mistake over and over. They dump compost into the soil without really understanding what their plants need or how the compost is behaving in the bed. The result is uneven growth, wasted nutrients, and sometimes a complete flop of your crops despite all the effort. I've seen it happen in raised beds, backyard gardens, and even in small-scale hydroponic setups. Compost isn't magic. If you treat it like a generic filler instead of a precision tool, it can actually work against you. That's why today we're going beyond the standard advice and showing a different way to use compost in 2026 that eliminates what I call compost anxiety and delivers real, measurable results. And before we go further, hit that subscribe button. This channel is about practical strategies, not surface-level tips. Let's start by clarifying one thing. Not all compost is created equal, and how you apply it matters more than how much you apply. Most sources tell you to just add a few inches on top of your beds. In my experience, that's half the problem. Raw application ignores the soil's existing nutrient profile, moisture capacity, and microbial activity. And I've had raised beds where a thick layer of compost actually burned seedlings because the nitrogen was too concentrated in one area. What works better is layering and measuring, not guessing. For small backyard gardens, I typically mix 2 parts compost to 3 parts native topsoil, then test the moisture and nutrient levels before planting. In raised beds, I go deeper, creating a sandwich of compost, aged manure, and native soil. In hydroponic systems, I rely on compost tea and microbial extracts rather than direct soil amendments because the roots are exposed. One tool that changed how I use compost is the Earth Scout 5-in-1 Soil Cub. It gives instant readings of soil moisture, temperature, electroconductivity, and air conditions. Using it, I can see exactly how compost affects the bed at multiple depths. For example, in one tomato bed, the top 2 inches were moist and nutrient-rich, but the lower 6 inches were dry and compacted. Most gardeners would have assumed the soil was uniformly fine. Adjusting the irrigation and tilling lightly to incorporate compost more evenly solved the growth issues immediately. If you want to see this product in action, I've linked it in the description. It's a real game changer for serious gardeners. A lot of people panic about compost timing, thinking you have to let it fully mature for months before adding it. That's not always necessary. I test the temperature and moisture inside the pile using a heavy-duty compost thermometer, like the Rio Temp 36-inch model, which lets me see when microbial activity is at its peak. When the pile reaches 130 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit, I know it's hot enough to have broken down most pathogens and weed seeds, but still rich in nutrients. At this stage, I'll mix it with soil at a ratio of roughly 1:1 for seedlings or 1:2 for established plants. This controlled approach eliminates the guesswork and the anxiety of is it ready yet. The method I use now is layering in stages. I start with a base of coarse organic material to improve drainage. Then I add a measured layer of finished compost. On top, I lightly sprinkle granular amendments like bone meal or green sand if I need extra phosphorus or potassium. Finally, I top with a thin mulch layer to preserve moisture. This layering technique works in small gardens where space is tight, in raised beds where roots need depth, and even in hydroponic media bags where the compost tea simulates the layers. Over time, this method creates a self-sustaining nutrient profile that supports vigorous growth with less intervention. One common myth I need to bust: more compost doesn't always equal better growth. I've seen gardeners cover their beds in a foot of compost, only to see stunted roots and plants suffering from excess nitrogen. The right amount depends on soil type and plant needs. I use the Earth Scout Soil Cub to measure electroconductivity, which tells me if the soil is leaning too rich. In sandy soils, I might apply up to 3 inches of compost, but in loam or clay, 1 to 2 inches mixed with soil is usually enough. That's the precision approach most gardeners overlook. Another thing I've learned is that compost isn't just fertilizer, it's also a tool for moisture management and microbial balance. Adding compost without understanding soil moisture is like giving a plant water and fertilizer blindly. In raised beds, I measure moisture at the top, middle, and bottom using the soil cub. If the lower layers are dry, I adjust the irrigation or integrate compost deeper. In hydroponic systems, I use compost tea diluted at a 1:10 ratio to feed roots directly while avoiding overloading the media. This keeps microbial populations healthy without risking root rot or nutrient lockout. A practical example: I have a raised bed of kale and carrots. I mixed 2 parts compost to 3 parts native soil and layered it about 6 inches deep. Using the soil cub, I checked moisture 3 times a week at different depths. When the top layer dried faster than the bottom, I amended with another 1-inch layer of compost, mixed with aged manure and adjusted irrigation. By mid-season, the kale leaves were larger, the carrots uniform, and pest pressure noticeably lower. None of this would have been predictable with the just dump compost on top and hope approach. For hydroponic growers, the anxiety around compost is slightly different. Direct soil compost is out, but microbial extracts and teas become your best friend. I brew compost tea with a 1:20 ratio of mature compost to water, aerate it for 24 hours, and feed it directly to cocoa coir or perlite beds. The plants respond faster than any synthetic feed, and I can adjust concentration based on real-time readings from the soil cub. This eliminates the uncertainty about whether the roots are getting the nutrients and microbes they need. Finally, let's talk about monitoring and long-term adjustments. Compost isn't a set-it-and-forget-it solution. Over time, nutrient levels shift, pH changes, and moisture retention evolves. By checking with tools like the soil cub regularly, I know when to add another layer of compost, adjust irrigation, or top dress with amendments. This proactive approach replaces anxiety with actionable data. You can grow without guesswork, and your plants reward you with consistent, abundant harvests. To wrap up, the different way to use compost isn't about adding more or less. It's about precision, monitoring, and layering in a way that aligns with your soil, your crops, and your irrigation strategy. Whether you're working a small backyard, raised beds, or hydroponic setups, this method removes the guesswork and maximizes growth without wasting your effort. Tools like the Earth Scout 5-in-1 soil cub and a reliable compost thermometer make all the difference. Check the links in the description if you want to get started with these products. They're the ones I use daily to keep my beds performing at their best. If you found this approach valuable, subscribe to Farm Logic so you won't miss future practical strategies that actually improve your harvest. Share this video with your gardening friends, because the more serious gardeners understand the real way to use compost, the better our gardens and our food will be. Remember, compost is powerful, but only when you treat it like the precision tool it really is.